Obviously.
Let the journey of hell begin.
Obviously, it's gonna be fun.
That was well timed.
Bold and Bankrupt finally got cancelled. Whatever you think of the show, and if it is staged or not, the Bold and Bankrupt, this whole entire show, I've been watching this for quite some time, and I'm telling you, the whole entire thing is real. He goes into different countries, and he interviews people, and so on. And he went on his final adventure in Kazakhstan, which is not even part of Russia anymore, but it is part of the Soviet Union. So he goes to different places. If you have been living under a rock, he checks out Soviet ex-republics and goes in there and gives the coverage of those places. As a speaker from the foremost Soviet Union, I really identify with him. I understand what he's saying, but he is British. He's not Russian. He's not Belarusian. He is from actual Britain, but he is very good in speaking. So what happened is that he went into Kazakhstan, into one of his bravest and most dangerous things that he ever did, which goes into the Russian territory. So in the whole Kazakhstan, which is a whole different country, it's not part of Russia, there is places there that are totally manned by Russian security because there is a national security interest over there, such as the space shuttle program. And you might be thinking, a space shuttle program? Well, yeah, the Soviet Union copied the American space shuttle program back in the 80s, and it created their own version of the Buran, which was a unique copy and was in some ways more superior than the American version at the same exact time level.
It's an actual Soviet spaceship, the Buran.
Unfortunately, this is exactly when the Soviet Union fell under decline, and the whole entire program just got frozen right there. And for years, nobody took care of it, nothing was happening, and pretty much it went into and became an abandoned building. And yet, the Russians still have security detachments, and they don't want anybody to get in there. So he went ahead and he went into an expedition to check it out. As he goes right in there, you have to think about how bad Russian security really is. They let the guy go all the way in. When he gets out, that's when they, get him. Which makes me think like, yeah, they've been tracking the guy all along, all the way in, and then once he committed the crime, yeah, that's when they actually go ahead and captured him. Lucky for him, it's just a fine, and max is 3 days in jail. But he got totally interrogated, and you can watch the whole interrogation and figure out what he was saying. And I'm gonna go into why he didn't get jailed and he didn't become a political prisoner, and what exactly he was trying to convey over there, because it seems like it's going totally against what Bold is all about. So let's go ahead, you can watch this, and we're gonna go back, and you can now gonna go into telling you what I think actually really happened over here.
Два причин есть. Первая причина, знаете, Запад и Ванга, наши СМИ постоянно делают давление, что, как сказать, против России, можно так сказать, и особо против ваш президент. И, конечно, это было влияние на меня, я слышал это только этого. И я был там, когда я был там в Украине. Это было очень рано, война. Я думаю, что это сумасшедшее решение. Я не понял в это время совсем подробностей, почему это все повезло. Просто, война, почему? И, ну да, я сказал, что я сказал, я писал, я думал, это может быть в этот момент. И тоже вторая причина. Вы, может быть, не будете понимать это, но когда у вас есть лицо на YouTube, если вы хотите зарабатывать деньги еще, вам надо что-то сказать, что они хотят слышать, и что люди хотят слышать. Если нет, это будет проблема для вас. Так, я думаю, что это надо так писать, то, что у меня нет проблем с YouTube. Я просто не хотел проблем, потому что если я наоборот что-то сказал, да, что-то вы не представляете, как это будет проблема для меня. Проблема это, каждый день я принесу много угроз из людей. Потому что вы за Россию, вы всегда снимаете в России. И это я был чуть-чуть боюсь. Почему? Когда я вижу тебя на улице, посмотрим, что будет между нами. Из украинцев или кто-то, да. И так, это большое давление. И так, то, что у вас нету, это надо, я думаю, писать что-то, то, что они не будут мне, угрозить еще, если вы не поймете. Я был чуть-чуть тупой тогда. Специальная операция уже 4-5, 6 месяцев. И у меня было много времени узнавать больше информации про эту ситуацию. Почему Россия это сделала? Почему они сделали это решение? В первые дни я не понял, просто, сразу война, почему? А сейчас, конечно, я прочитал, я узнавал информацию из разных мест, и я понял, что надо очистить этого района из, фашистов, можно так сказать. Да, я приносил, и не только я. Я думаю, что каждый ютубер, в принципе, мы принесли имейл из ютуба, и они сказали, что вы только можно сказать, говорить про эту ситуацию в Украине и сторона Украины. Вы не можете показать сторону Донбасса или русские мнения про этого. Если вы не будете на ваш канал, будет проблем, вы еще деньги рекламировать не можете, потому что это запрещено. Были это, в принципе. Это было, может быть, через... Я не хочу сказать, что не прав. Я не помню именно, когда я получил это. Но это было рано в этой ситуации. Просто они сказали, что вы не можете сказать что-то позитивное про эту ситуацию. Допустим, если я буду сказать, конечно, было надо специальную операцию, потому что там у нас есть много фашистов там в Украине, да? Это нельзя.
То есть на Ютубе нет свободы слова или что?
Конечно нет. В Запад совсем нет. И это не должен быть новая информация для вас. Это, конечно, так. Это посольство в Украине, в Лондоне. Украинское посольство.
Украинское посольство.
Да. Они написали мне через мой имейл.
Ага.
Первый раз я ничего не сказал. И потом они еще, Бенджамин, вы можете, пожалуйста, оставить много ютуберов, это сделал, это деньги для... И я думал, почему нет? Так, я оставил это место. И тоже много людей мне сказали, почему вы не сказали про деньги, про Украину? Разные ютуберы это сделали, а вы ничего не сделали, помогать там. Так, я думаю, хорошо, если я буду это делать, это было бы лучше для меня. Я столкнулся, в принципе, с людьми, которые мой возраст или больше, советские люди, в принципе, таксисты или что-то кассы, да. Они, в принципе, все не были довольны с ситуацией в Украине. Типичная ситуация. Я был в Бахмут, да. и Артемск. Да. И я был таксист. Я говорил про это имя города. Он сказал, раньше это был назван Артемск. Да. Он сказал, и это было красивое имя. И сейчас надо говорить Бахмут. Я не могу сказать тебе, кто наш сказал и должен, но вы меня поймете. И, конечно, я помню, что это Азовский батальон или кто-то. Понимаете? И это была типичная ситуация. В принципе, они чувствовали, что они русские. И более удобно в русский мир, чем в украинский. Я думаю, что это очень раздражало людей там в Восточной Украине, что произошло с Януковичем. То, что это был их президент типа, и потом революция, понимаете, да? И потом сразу, где наш президент? Потому что западные люди не хотели ему. Это очень раздражало. И после этого они не были довольны в Украине.
So now that you have watched the whole entire thing, you're probably wondering, well, he said all those statements about, well, Putin right there, and why was he saying it in a totally different manner? So you have to understand Bold's background. He been around those places. He knows what kind of things you have to say in case you're detained by the authorities. And it's nothing like American authorities. It's not the same as British authorities. In the ex-Soviet republics, and specifically in Russia, and this is Kazakhstan, which was almost the same exact thing because he got detained by the security forces, the FSB, which is the ex-KGB. Potentially, those are the ones who interrogated him because otherwise I can't think if the regular police will actually go into it. There's definitely security elements over there. And they went ahead and they spun this whole entire interview. I mean, they looked up the guy, definitely they checked out his background, and they decided that it's much better than to detain and make an international incident of him as an example. Like Britney, she went in there, she did one crime, and they just stuck her in jail. On the other hand, you have to understand in Kazakhstan, it is not Russia. So it's a little bit more of a gray area. You have to actually get the permission of Kazakhstan to go ahead and detain somebody and just, ship him to Russia for a crime that they committed. And although in the books, 3 days in jail, and the fine would be enough for what he did, it comes like his own actual YouTube channel is the reason why he could have got himself into an actual prison colony altogether. So that is actually totally different matter. And that was the danger that he put himself into. Because as they looked up, they seen some Russian footage on his videos. And that was the big key. And that was exactly what he had to say to get himself out of this entire situation. So he would go ahead and say things that in normal sense you would say, like, why is he saying this? I mean, did he actually speak bad stuff about Putin? And there was so many people who are watching Bold and Bankrupt show that whatever he is putting out there is going to make them look good in terms of propaganda. And because of that, it's much better for them to let him go and release this incriminating statement that kind of says, like, yeah, all the stuff I put in there, it's like I make this stuff up and so on, just to, YouTube censors everything and demonetize the stuff if it says things like anti-Russian and so on. So he had to, a lot of those things he had to put up there. And when they were asking which side would you actually pick, he had to sound like he's picking the Russian side. And he had to, find out more about their point of view, which he actually didn't know as much. And this whole entire thing, a lot of it was like pure BS. Like, he knows exactly what he had to say. He had no choice in the matter. I mean, he had to say things to get him out of jail. Because pretty much Putin, he's the one who really, he gets the news. This guy got detained right there. Should you go ahead, take him to Russia and put him in jail? I mean, they could have done that if they wanted to. But you have to understand the guy is British, not American. So it's not like they don't have beef with the British. But it just seems like for them it was just better off to, let him go and put this statement out and ban him from all Russian territories, including Belarus and Kazakhstan, which would be also pro-Russian states. And he understood this whole matter that technically they're not allowing him into certain places, but furthermore, it just becomes too much dangerous for him to report any more stuff from those areas, because Putin signs into law a decree. And if you put some stuff about anti-Russian stuff, and if he gets caught saying some of the stuff he was saying, and it sounds like more political, if he gets caught again, he got caught once, and they just let him go, it doesn't mean that he is going to get away with it the second time. In fact, that's why he decided to cut the show. He's going to go into other republics that are more friendly to the West, such as Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania would be places that he can still go and film some of his show. But the ex-Soviet or the Soviet areas, as long as Putin in charge, he is out of it. He is not going to set his foot in those locations anymore. It's just too dangerous and not something that he should be doing. Regardless of what you think, if you think he scripted anything, you think he is saying it because of censorship or anything, he had to say what he had to do in order to get him out of this situation. As a student of history, and of course as somebody who used to live in some of those places, I totally get what he did. And when you have to pick, when you have a channel like his, which is not a political channel, going into politics is the last place you want, because if you're reporting from different countries, you got to respect whatever customs and everything, and so you can actually go ahead and report from those places without getting into any trouble, and which is exactly what he did. So whatever you think of Board, he did what he had to do to get himself out. And when it comes to Ukraine and the situation with Russia, it is just a total disaster. It is terrible what is happening over there. And somebody, myself, from Belarus, which is not two of those places that are fighting together, it is still not a good thing what's happening over there. And as an American citizen, I'm looking at it from a different point of view, but at the same exact time, you have to understand that this is the Third World War. It is practically what it is. It is NATO versus Russia and some of their own allies, and that is exactly what a Third World War actually is. And unfortunately, this whole situation is not good. There's a lot of people who are suffering, and they're dying right now, especially in Ukraine, because of Putin. What he did was a just terrible, grave mistake that he shouldn't have done. A lot of innocent people who are dying right now. And my condolences to all that is involved over here. And I just feel really bad for the people of Ukraine who are suffering the most right now in this terrible situation. So thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy my take on this, you want to see any more videos about those kind of topics, such as Ukraine and Russia, maybe I will post more of them as well. Please subscribe to this channel if you did enjoy it, smash the thumbs up because it helps me a lot, and see you in the next video of the show, where you never know what's the next thing that's going to be covered on this channel.